bought their first home in their mid-20s. They paid off their car. They raised kids. They retired at 65 with a pension and a paid-off house. And you working just as hard, maybe harder, can barely afford rent. This isn't a personal failure. It's a structural shift that happened quietly over 40 years. And by the time this video ends, you'll understand exactly what changed, why it changed, and what Morgan is doing about it right now, while Alex is still staring at Zillow. Let's talk about the 3 numbers that explain the generational wealth gap. Not theories. Numbers. Number 1, wealth distribution. Americans over 45 own 89% of this country's total wealth. Americans under 45 who make up the majority of the workforce own the remaining 11%. That's not a gap. That's a chasm. Number 2, housing. Your parents bought a house at 3 times their salary. You would need to spend 7 times yours. Not because Gen Z is less responsible. Because the math stopped working. Number 3, the debt load nobody warned you about. Your parents paid for college with a part-time job and summers off. The average member of the class of 2022 graduated with $37,570 in student debt. So Gen Z is entering adulthood paying rent they can barely afford, on a salary that doesn't stretch far enough, carrying debt their parents never had to carry, and wondering why they feel behind. Here's what actually changed. And it wasn't laziness. It wasn't avocado toast. The pension disappeared. Your grandparents had pensions guaranteed monthly income for life after retirement. Companies paid it. It was automatic. Starting in the 1980s, companies quietly replaced pensions with 401k plans, meaning the responsibility for building retirement wealth shifted from the employer to the employee. Overnight, most people didn't notice. Most people still haven't. The housing market locked. Boomers bought homes when they were cheap. Those homes appreciated. That appreciation became wealth passive, automatic, requiring nothing but time. Gen Z showed up to the same game 40 years later when the starting price had tripled. Wages decoupled from everything. In 1965, a CEO made about 21 times the average worker's salary. Today, over 300 times. The economy kept growing. Productivity kept rising. The wealth just stopped going to workers at the same rate. This isn't a generational war. Boomers didn't do anything wrong by buying homes when homes were affordable. But the policies that made all of this possible, tax structures that favor asset owners, limits on housing development, pension elimination, those were choices made by people who were already wealthy. And those choices compounded. So what does Morgan do? Because here's the thing nobody tells you about a rigid starting position. It doesn't mean you can't build wealth. It means you have to build it differently than your parents did. And that difference is everything. Morgan can't buy a house right now. That's not denial, that's math. So he stops waiting for a starting point that may not come on the old timeline, and he builds a different one. Move 1, he invests the down payment instead. The average Gen Z first-time buyer is now waiting until age 40 to purchase a record high. That's potentially 15 years of saving a down payment that just sits there. Morgan does the math differently. He's not giving up on a house. He's making his money work while he waits instead of letting it sit still while inflation eats it. Move 2, he stops measuring himself against his parents' timeline. The wealth gap is real, but it is not permanent. That transfer won't reach everyone equally. It will reach the people who are already building, who have accounts, investments, and systems in place to receive and grow it. Morgan is building those systems now. Move 3, he separates income from wealth. This is the core idea your parents' generation stumbled into mostly by accident through home appreciation. Your salary is income. It stops when you stop working. Wealth is assets, things that grow while you sleep. Stocks, index funds, eventually property, business ownership. The earlier you start building assets, the longer compound interest has to work. Morgan started at 23 with the $100 a month. Not because the $100 a month changes everything immediately. Because the habit and the account and the compounding, those change everything over time. Alex is still waiting until things feel more stable. They won't feel more stable. That's the trap. The system your parents navigated no longer exists. The pension is gone. The affordable house at 26 is gone. The part-time summer job that paid for college gone. But wealth is still being built. Every single day. By people who understood that the rules changed and adjusted how they play. Baby boomers hold $83.3 trillion in wealth. Most of it is sitting in houses and retirement accounts, and when they pass, the largest wealth transfer in history begins. The question isn't whether wealth will change hands. The question is whether you'll be in a position to receive it, grow it, and pass something forward. Morgan will be. Not because he's lucky, not because he earns more, but because at 23, he stopped waiting for the old timeline and started building on the new one. 3 things. Starting today, 1. Open an investment account, index fund. Automate whatever you can 50D, 100, or 200. The amount matters less than the start. 2. Stop keeping your savings in a regular savings account. Yield savings accounts are paying 4 to 5% right now. Your money should at least be earning while it sits. 3. Drop the comparison to your parents' timeline. It's a different map. Use a different compass. If this hit different, subscribe. Next week, the one financial move that separates people who build wealth from people who just earn it. It's not what most people think.